What's going on, everybody? I am Desmond Scott, and welcome to yet another episode of Shifts and Stories, a podcast dedicated to my clients, giving them a platform to talk about their mental shifts and the stories behind them. Today on the pod, I have what they call, or who they call, junior coach, auntie, Des Jr., and all the other many things that talks about her bossiness and her mentality in the gym. Tivona, bro, what's happening?
What's going on?
I can't complain. At all.
I should have known you knew they called me Des.
I know what they say now. I got my ears to the streets. I know what happens. I got secret cameras in the gym, and so I know what happens in here. So welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's get straight to it.
Okay.
Who are you?
Apparently I'm bossy. But I'm just Tivona who likes to come into the gym and work out. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. That's me in a nutshell.
Yeah. You weren't always a person who liked to come into the gym. If I recall correctly,
Okay.
You were a person who walked into the building because your daughter was having dance class down the street, and so you was just trying to find something to kill some time with. Is that accurate?
That's somewhat accurate. I was trying to kill some time. I was also looking for a gym. So that's kind of why I wandered in here too. Working out by myself for a while. And I just wanted to see what was going on in here because I had saw some lights in the window. It was dark. It looked like it was a fun atmosphere. So I just wanted to come in and see what was going on.
Got you. And correct me if I'm wrong, or give me all the details behind it. That day, after we consulted, it might have been, I think it was that day, you tried to figure out every reason and excuse on why not start your journey, right?
I don't think I was trying to find a reason why not to start the journey. I think that my mind was just going to the reasons why it wasn't going to work.
Okay.
I wanted to be here, I think, right? But in my mind, it was like, I'm not going to be able to do it. There's so many things going on. My daughter has dance, right? I'm responsible for getting her there. How am I going to do that and get here if we're working out in the evening? There were many things that I couldn't figure out at the time.
And what did I say to you?
You said, come on in, let's just try it out and we'll see. If it works, we can keep going. If it doesn't, then we'll stop.
Got it. So I think you, like a lot of people, are so used to things not working out, going in their favor, and so they create excuses or obstacles that aren't even there, right?
Okay.
I was having a conversation yesterday with someone. It was a relationship type conversation, right? Okay. And what I told her was, oftentimes we create situations within our relationship that don't even exist with the other person, right? It's like, she don't like the way I tie my shoe because now she don't like the way I tie my shoe. She don't want me to wear shoes. Like, that's not even, and so we're creating problems that don't even exist. So what would you say to that person that's creating problems that they haven't even been shown that is an actual problem?
Stop trying to finish the story before it starts, right? So you have to just kind of take that step and get out there and see if it actually will work. See if that person doesn't like the way you tie your shoes. See if you can maybe wear shoes without laces.
Shoestrings. Just put some Velcro on that thing.
So figure out how you could, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
So if there's something you want to do, just take a step and see if it'll work. If that doesn't work, then try another one.
Yeah. So you came in the gym, and I say this to you all the time. I don't remember that person, right? the pictures that y'all are gonna see on the screen, I don't remember that person. I don't. And I think we talked about this maybe a year or so ago. You said you got good at doing what?
Hiding it.
Hiding it.
I was good at hiding it.
Good at hiding it. I think a lot of people are good at hiding it. Right? But you didn't want to hide anymore. So
not at all.
You came in weighing what? Do you know?
I think I was over 200.
Over
Maybe
200.
like 203.
203. Okay. And what is your lowest that you've been here?
The lowest I've been is 169.
169. That's good stuff. And how long have you been here?
6 years.
6 years. And over those 6 years, in order to go from 203 to 169, you had to become a different person. Let's talk about that person.
Okay.
Who are you? Who did you have to become? What shifts did you have to make mentally, emotionally, spiritually to actually go on that journey?
Okay. First of all, I had to shift and let myself know that I could do it, right? Impossible doesn't mean that it's not hard, doesn't mean that it's impossible, right? And so like there are many things that have shown up, tried to stop me, but I'd have to say, you're not going to get in the way. I'm going to do what I want to do. This is for me. I have to stand up for me. I have to become very mindful of the things that I'm doing and just making sure that I'm focusing on what's important. And so that has been making sure that I may want to eat a certain thing and it's okay at some point to eat it, but not to overdo it. Or just saying no to things altogether.
Yeah. One of the things that we have to learn to say no to is our family. I talked with somebody on the podcast. I don't remember who it was, but we were talking about, I think it was Leah. We were talking about family and family being content with where they are and content with where you are, but they don't want you to outdo them because it throws off their contentment. Have we had that experience before?
We've definitely had that experience.
Okay, let's talk about that experience.
My family is very content where they are. And so I had to, in my journey of not being so content where I was, allow them to be content where they are and allow them to be uncomfortable with me not being comfortable in that contentment. And so there are times when we want to celebrate and food is the center of the celebration. And
that's not just in your family. That's
it's everybody.
Yeah.
And so it's like I can be there, I can celebrate with you, but it may not look like the celebration that you're doing. You may want to hang out tonight, but I'm planning on getting up in the morning to go work out, and I'm not trying to be tired. I had a cousin say, when am I going to see you outside again? And I'm like, well, I don't know, because I'm in the gym every morning, and I'm there 4:30. So I can't hang out with you until 11, 12 o'clock at night. Wanting to work out and do certain things, I had to learn how to do it on my own. If I wanted to take a walk, well, I'm going to go by myself. If I want to go for a run, I'm going to go by myself. So you can either come with me or I'm going to just do it because this is important to me.
I had Ashley on the podcast and she talked about the same thing, right? I'm going to do it regardless of what y'all are doing.
Right.
That's lonely.
It is.
That is lonely. And I say at the beginning of challenges, and I say when people come into the gym, that this is a lonely journey. This is why we've built the gym to be the way that it is, because the people you sweat and die and come back to life and bleed and all of those things 3, 4, 5 times a week, that becomes your support system.
Right.
But then you go home and you feel lonely again. How has that journey been of loneliness?
It has been an eye-opening journey, and it has helped me to realize that that's my journey, right? And so even though it may get lonely at times, this is what I want to do, and I can still go on my journey alongside them with their journey. It just looks different, and understanding that my journey is mine, and I can't expect them to be there or to understand what that looks like, even though we're doing it side by side. It's just different.
To the person or the people that are listening or watching this that are married and or single and they have family that are close by that aren't giving them the support they thought they needed and or what it looked like to them, what do you say to that person?
Get a good gym community, right? Because it is the people who are beside you every day working out. Even if you're not working out with that person in particular, you're in the same space. And so you have that same mentality, or you should.
You should, yeah.
Right? Allow your spouse that space that they need, because this is different, especially if this is something new to you. Like, you're learning how to do it. They have to learn how to allow you to do it and how to do it beside you, even if they're not doing it. So it's going to be frustrating.
Yeah.
You're going to want to pull your spouse along with you. They may not want to go. And you have to be able to say, okay, that's fine. We'll go together in certain other areas, but this area right here, this is mine. And I'm going to keep doing it because this is important to me.
This might get a little bit personal, and Linwood might call me later. But I'm all right. Hit my phone, dog. What kind of conversations have y'all had? And I asked that question because y'all been married for how long?
20 years.
A long time. And I think the people who are going to view or listen to this, they have not been married 20 years. Most of them haven't. So y'all got years, right? So y'all have overcome a lot of situations, scenarios, and mountains and valleys. It just happens. It has to happen with 20 years.
Right.
I don't know nothing about y'all marriage, but I'm married, and so I know 20 years of marriage, didn't have these.
Right.
So people have issues having communication. They struggle with communicating, and sometimes don't want to have tough conversations. This is a tough conversation.
It is.
How did that conversation go?
Well, my husband, I love him dearly. He is a very easygoing man, right? And so the problems that I thought I was going to have coming into this, I'm not going to be able to get my daughter to dance and then get to the gym. When I talked to him about it, he was, and everybody's not going to have this because, again, my husband is...
He the man.
He the man.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, well, whatever you need, right? Now, I will go side note and say, no, he does not work out with me. He has no interest in doing it whatsoever, but he is very supportive of allowing me that space and that time to do it. So
y'all heard that? She said allowing. Allowing. Whether she chose to use it purposefully or not.
Purposefully or not.
I want y'all to understand that she said allowing. And now, these millennial and Gen, what is the next one?
Gen Z.
Z relationships and words like submissive and words like allowing, they don't like those words, right? They don't like those words. But I love that word of allowing because he's allowing you that space.
Right.
He is, right? Because that's cutting into his time. That's cutting into whatever.
Family time.
Yes.
Anything that he was doing between the hours that I was taking our daughter to dance and just waiting for her to finish with that. Now he's using that time to do that.
Yeah.
And now, like 6 years in, I'm looking at, I might need to change some scheduling again. And he's like, well, we'll work it out. So he's very supportive in making sure that I can do what it is that I want to do. Like, this is my, as they call it, my hobby, I guess. And they want to make sure that I get that time.
That's beautiful.
It is.
6 years is a long time.
It is.
And I mean, I never realized it because people just come in the gym all the time. They come and leave. But I think on average, out of all my people, my average of clientele is 9 years.
Oh.
which is fire. And I don't think that that's a thing in the fitness industry, but it also speaks to what we have and what we've been able to build. And I say we've because I just set the tone and the precedence of who I am, and I allow y'all to create what that beautiful thing looks like, you know? But over that 6 years, we've done a lot of this. You know what that is?
Yeah.
A little old school toy.
Yeah. That's
Yo-yo, right? Gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight. Look like you're ready to go on stage. Look like you're not. So, what was the cause of the yo-yoing?
Okay.
And how did you bounce back each time?
Okay. I would say at first the cause of the yo-yoing was not being on that journey with my family. Right. And so I was coming in and I was learning new things and I was learning how to eat. But when I went home and I was trying to teach that to them, they were like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And so it became, okay, well then I want to be with y'all and what y'all are doing. I want to do what you're doing. And so I would come in here and I would have certain things that I've learned and I would try to implement. But then I'd come home and it's like, well, dang, y'all aren't doing it. And it was just easier to like go back and to eat how they were eating. And then I'd come back and I'd say, okay, I got to get this under control. And I'd get it under control. And then I'd go back and it was like, okay, well, I ate a little bit of that. And there was no change. And so, you know, I could have a little bit more. And then it just kept going and going until it was like, okay, you did too much. Right. And now it's like just learning that it's okay to have certain things. Just don't overdo it. And knowing where that point is. Right. And you can toe the line a little bit, but don't cross that line. And so now it's like, I know how to eat. I know how to eat for me. And I know how to be with them and to be able to eat what I want to eat without blowing what I've worked hard for 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was it. That was just being able to take what I've learned and apply it without blowing it when I was away from the environment that allowed me to be on the up and up.
It's difficult.
It's very difficult.
That is difficult. And yet, again, we talk about being lonely. Who did you lean on? We talked about your community, and the answer to this may be your community, but when you went home, your community is not there. Right? So I'll make it a half and half. So who did you lean on, and or who did you have to become to be okay in that loneliness?
Okay. Well, many people within this community would not agree with what I'm about to say.
Okay.
But I'm really quiet and I don't say a lot. And so a lot of it, I didn't lean on anybody. I had to figure it out for myself. And that's something that I just kind of default to, just leaning on myself and trying to figure it out. I would come in here and work out with community and we would have a great time. But as far as knowing my struggles, a lot of people didn't know it because it was like, I can't let them know, right, that I have this struggle at home. Because in here, they think that like...
Use the boss, he used the junior, you the junior.
Right, right. And nobody can know that. So a lot of it, I've had a lot of workout partners, like over the time, like different people have like decided to come in and they were like, okay, well, I want to work out with you and we'll work out together. And so having them to say, okay, I want to do this with you, it was what I wasn't getting with my family. It was like, no, I'm not doing that. Right. And so I guess in a sense that was me kind of leaning on them. But so I've had multiple people who like just kept me going in days when it was like, well, I don't want to get up. I don't want to go. But so-and-so is waiting for you.
Yeah.
You got to show up not only for you, but you now have to show up for them.
Yeah. to the individual who desires this type of community, but they may or may not live here. How has Prime 45, Prime 90s, online training in here, what does, explain to them what that community looks and feels like? Because you said community many times, but what does that community look and feel like?
Here, I mean, I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's your first time walking through the door or if it's like your 100th time. When you come through the door, everybody, you're in community already. You're welcomed, you're accepted, you're pushed. And so Prime 45, Prime 90, being online and not being here to have what we have in-house, you still get it if people from the gym are participating, because one, we're going to go into the chat and we're going to talk to you and we're going to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to push you. I think you can still have that online community that feels like in-house community when you're doing it Prime 45 or Prime 90.
Yeah, I think that's good. And so what I would go into next is this. You are a person who has overcome many things. Lost a lot of weight, figured out how to do this journey on your own. You have navigated, which I believe is one of the most challenging pieces of a fitness journey, is home life. That is difficult. And so you are this person that they call Junior Dez or Coach Dez Jr. or something. DJ, right? Like, I think that speaks volumes to who you have become. You are not the same person who was trying to make scheduling conflicts. You're the person now that is scheduling around
the gym,
what this is, you know? And so I always talk about that there's more. So if you could create the perfect version of yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, what would that look like, and what can I do to assist?
Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. One, you do a great job of playing gospel music on occasion, and sometimes that's just what's needed, right? And so keep doing that.
Yeah.
Keep doing that. I know sometimes there may be complaints about it. I
can't stand it.
But, I mean, there are some times when you just need it, right?
Yeah.
And it helps. Emotionally, we feel what we feel. And I need to figure out how to use my emotions to maybe elevate in the gym and not shut down sometimes. Physically, just keep pushing me. A lot of things that I've accomplished so far is because you said, I don't care. Like when I'm like, are you sure? Like, should I do that? And you're like, I don't care. Just do it. And I just do it. And so a lot of it just pushing past those mental barriers of, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this done. Now it's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So just to be the best version of me, I will say, every day I think I bring forth my best. And so if you can just keep pulling that out.
And so there you have it, folks. Another episode of Shifts and Stories. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your best friend. Peace. What's going on, guys? Desmond Scott here. Again, thank you so much for watching the podcast. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, hit me up on social media at Desmond L. Scott. And if you're interested in any transformation programs, the link is in the bio.